See, I saw something on your LinkedIn profile. You talk about sustainable socio-economic development.
Absolutely.
Okay. So in your view, what is the biggest challenge? First of all, tell my audience, those that do not know what sustainable socio-economic development is.
Okay, so you can actually have economic development without social development. You can have a disparity of aggressive economic growth and lagging social development.
Okay.
When there's income disparity, okay, when there's no shared prosperity. And indeed, that's what the whole world is falling into, both across continents and within continents, within countries. So if you go to America now, that's the biggest problem, the challenge they now have. The poor are getting poorer while the rich are getting richer. Now, when you have that disparity, okay, it threatens the sustainability of the system.
Yeah.
It's in our collective interest to have shared prosperity, where everybody, no, we're not saying everybody's going to be the same, okay? That's communism.
Okay.
Makes sense, okay? All we're saying is that people at least have what they need.
Okay.
There's some countries in the world, I think, was it Netherlands, they said, that now has a policy of eradicating homelessness. So anybody who is homeless gets a home, you know. But it's also, sometimes you end up with what they call a Dutch disease, where people don't want to work anymore because they know that if they don't work, government will take them. So, but the point here is that it's difficult to reach that balance, but shared prosperity can easily happen when people have a genuinely entrepreneurial mindset. Like I tell people, entrepreneurship is intrinsically social. So I don't talk about social entrepreneurship because I've realized that the richest companies in the world are the ones that have had the most impact on humanity. Okay. Why was Bill Gates the richest man in the world for 18 consecutive years? Because he came up with a solution. He was passionate about making people more creative and came up with a solution that everybody in the world needs.
Yeah.
Which is why no matter where you go to, whether it's Ethiopia or Israel or the UK or the US, you know, you're in Africa, you will always see the Microsoft logo. We all need computers. Now, before he invented the personal computer, okay, we had these big mighty mainframes.
Yeah.
So it's almost like saying,
IBMs.
Exactly. But yeah, exactly. You know, so it's almost like somebody telling you that I'm going to democratize private jets. To us, it's like a pipe dream. But that's precisely what Bill Gates did by making mainframes, suddenly putting a computer in every home. Same way we felt when somebody said everybody will have a mobile phone, because we all had wired phones, okay? And mobile phones are only for the extremely wealthy. But today, your maid, at least in Nigeria, the maids, the drivers,
everybody.
But from 20, 30 years ago, that sounded like, how? It's not possible.
Yeah.
Only the rich have this, okay? Similarly, Henry Ford did the same thing. At the point when only the very wealthy Americans drove cars, the rest of the Americans were doing what? Riding on horse carriages. Henry Ford said, I want to democratize this process, okay? And so using the assembly line process, which by the way was informed to him by a Black guy, he was able to crash the price of cars 20 times over, because before, one person took about a year or two. I've been to the Harley-Davidson exhibition where they showed us how, you know, what the first cars looked like and how it could take one person about 2 or 3 years to make one car. So of course, you can imagine why it would be so expensive, okay? But with the assembly line process, you could produce 20, 30 cars in one day, okay? Or 1 week, I don't know. But obviously, that definitely brought down the price of cars, which meant that other people could now afford cars, which meant that roads had to be built, which meant that gas stations had to be built, which meant that parts productions companies have to be created. So you see that one good solution can actually give birth to many industries,
multiple other industries.
Exactly.
Yep.
Which create jobs, which creates wealth, and which creates shared prosperity. And that's why the entrepreneurial mindset is so important. Now, going back to the question you had asked initially, do I think that African governments are making enough efforts to spur entrepreneurship in the continent?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Africa is going through a phase of growth that many countries have been through.
Yeah.
We're at the phase now where we have rulers, not leaders, because a leader puts his people first. But our rulers are very good at what they're doing, which is amassing personal wealth. So they make statements and they do make efforts, but again, the effort to be more sincere and genuine and concrete if they were more sincere and cared more
Okay.
about people. Because entrepreneurship is like releasing an accelerator, unleashing shared prosperity into society.
Yeah.
Because if everybody is providing a solution to the problems that they identify, society's improvements will happen faster. People will be making money from making a difference.
Okay.
So that's why you have socio-economic development, which means social and economic development.
Yeah.
And what sustains it is shared prosperity, because if I have a product, maybe a hotel, or I produce gold, or I produce fancy clothes, you can only buy if you have money. If everybody else
that's true.
Who's going to buy? Who's going to stay in my hotel? Who's going to buy my jewelry? Who's going to buy my clothing? You know, so it's actually, I mean, in fact, Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki wrote a book titled Why We Want You to Be Rich.
Yeah.
Shared prosperity is in everybody's interest. But you know, people are sometimes so selfish and greedy, and there's selfish leaders all over the place, not only in Africa. Okay. And people are sometimes too selfish to allow themselves think it through, to understand that, hey, if I have a system that allows everybody to have some level of prosperity, I'll be richer because they can buy, more people can buy from me. Okay. So to those who understand this, fight for shared prosperity. Those who are too greedy and selfish and want to keep, the wealth to themselves alone, actually work actively against shared prosperity.
Okay.
So we have both forces in the world.
So my next question, how can we enlighten people in a society that we need shared prosperity? By
doing the kind of things we're doing now. We're speaking. Okay, so I don't know how many people are listening to this podcast, but it's the beginning. So, and that's why I write what I do on LinkedIn. And so you can't underestimate the power of one. We can each make a difference.
Yeah.
So, and I told you at the beginning, I'm very purpose driven. The reason I accepted this podcast, even though I will have to go very soon, is because I wanted to be popular on a podcast. Because I saw it as another opportunity to be able to spread this idea about what entrepreneurship really means and how shared prosperity is in the interest of everybody.
Yeah.
Rather than being exploitative. Okay. The collaboration always pays much more than exploitation.
Yeah. Yeah.